In 2012, we made a program called the St. Vincent Climate Compliance Conference. And we aim to make our small country one of the world's first sustainable nations. So climate compliant, I'll get back into that. So that's what I'll talk about and why we are doing it and how you can participate. And there are no age limits. Yeah, I'm sorry, our planet is getting sick. It's getting very sick. And our planet's got humans. It's making our planet very sick. So, first, where are we? Our planet is sick, and I tell you, we can feel it in St. Vincent. We're a small, vulnerable island nation, one of the most disaster-prone countries in the world. We are located here, and it's a small country. Anybody been to Caribbean? Yes? Where did you go?
Barbados.
Oh, nice. That's close.
Yeah.
That's very close. And this is our school seen from the volcano. This is my academy. But St. Vincent is a small country. We are a very young country. We are independent 1979. Our population is about 110,000 people. We are one of the poorer countries in the Caribbean. Not as poor as Haiti, but we really have a lot of people who need a lot of attention. We have 32 islands, where 8 are infected by humans. Inhabited by humans. We make money on tourism, farming, and Vincentians living abroad. They work abroad and send money home. So this is basically how we are surviving. Our academy is at the end of the road, and as you can see, there are very few roads in St. Vincent. That also says something about the development of the country. There's very lack of infrastructure. But our academy is at the end of the road, and we are located on 30 acres of land, and we are a registered non-profit in St. Vincent. We raise money through ecotourism. We have a diving center. We take people on tours, we get donations, and we produce products like juice for sale. So we raise all the money ourselves. Our students pay tuition fees, and that also allows some students who can't afford tuition fees to join anyway. Now, the Climate Compliance Conference, and when I'm saying that the planet is sick, we'll have to look at a few factors. Maybe for some of this is very well known, but for some it's not. So I will go through it anyway. Due to human activities, we get climate change. There's mainly 3 factors. So we burn fossil fuels. We change in land use, that's where we get to the tree planting. And we produce a lot of pollution and waste. So when we burn fossil fuels, we take carbon that's stored deep, deep, deep down in the ground for a reason. We take it up, change it, put it out in the atmosphere, and we pollute the atmosphere. The other thing we do is a change of land use. About 50% of the world's forests are already cut down. And of course, this is a big problem because the forest can help us maintain a healthy atmosphere. And we produce a lot of pollution and waste. We are the only species who produce pollution and waste. All other species are incorporated into a cycle. So, mainly due to burning of fossil fuels, we create the greenhouse gases, and then we have another 3 effects. So the planet is heating. We have heated the planet 1 degree. When it gets warmer, it's easier for hurricanes to form. There was always hurricanes, but once it gets warmer, you get more of them. And when you live on a small island in the Caribbean, it's not just something you hear about. You get them. So it's different living there, understanding what climate change and global warming is doing. So we get a lot of disasters as the planet is warming. And we have many disasters, but here are some. Some listed here. Tsunamis and so on. Ocean acidification. Big, big disaster. So we have polluted the atmosphere so much with CO2. The oceans help us. They have absorbed 50% of the CO2, but that makes our oceans 30% more acidic. When the oceans become acidic, plankton can't live. Trees produce oxygen, the other half comes from plankton. Another disastrous biodiversity loss is happening right now. I don't understand why we don't have more focus on the biodiversity loss happening right now. Maybe you have in Finland, but certainly we don't have it in Norway and we don't have it in the Caribbean. Yeah, just the ocean absorbed 50% CO2, they're 30% more acidic, and our plankton produce 50% of the oxygen. Now, the biodiversity, we are losing 1,000 species per year. It's right now. We are in a disaster right now. Losing, all species have a purpose. We have lost 75% of genetic biodiversity in terms of agricultural crops. We have lost 75% of all life in the ocean. We have fished up, depleted our fish resources. Now, if we continue like we do now, and it looks like we are not stopping, once we get to have heated the planet 3.5 degrees, 70% of all life as we know it will be extinct. And we'll have to change. Climate, change. We have to change the way we're doing things. We have to change our lifestyle. If we'd like to see the planet as we know it, it's already changed. But if we want that for our children, we have to change. And it's not tomorrow. It's not the next generation. It's you. It's me. It's us. And it's now. So actually here is where a lot of people are. Got our heads in the sand. Huh? What do you think? We have ostriches in St. Vincent? It's a symbol, of course. Yeah. Why would the ostrich put the head in the sand? Oh, you know this in Finland. Tell me. Why would the ostrich put the head in the sand? Anyone?
To hide.
Exactly. There's a danger, right? And the ostrich see it and they put a head in the sand and you think, problem gone, right? The problem is not gone, just because you put it in the sand. And that's what a lot of people are doing. They know this problem. There's some climate change, something, there's a lot of poverty and this and this. We go home, sit in front of the TV, zap around the channel, drink some imported sugary drinks full of chemicals, zap around and pretend there's not a problem. So, we have to change this. Yeah? So, I think there's only one thing to do, and it's very simple. Yeah? We got to get our heads out of the sand. Yeah? And that's what we do at the Richland Vale Academy and many other places in the world. For example, the ENO Treelympics is also helping this to get the heads out of the sand. These are some of my students. I had 500 students since I came to St. Vincent in 2007, and I can tell you they've got their heads out of the sand. Yeah, all of them. And that's also why they would choose to come to the Academy. Now, this climate, at the Academy we do more things, but I'll talk about the one program called the St. Vincent Climate Compliance Conference. So we aim to, from 2012 to 2021, make our island sustainable and ready for climate change, because right now we are not ready. And it's 3 areas. That's food security, but it's healthy food security, energy security, and also that we are ready for climate change. So we'll go into this, what we do. Our island import most of our food. We could grow all of our food. We don't. For example, 98% of the chicken is imported from the United States. So we get dumped chicken full of chemicals in. And they make it so cheap so people will eat it. And this is not very healthy. You know, hormones, antibiotics, I don't know how they make those chicken. It's not really chicken. People think it's chicken, but it's not. Now we have other problems. So we import. Another problem is that now as the climate is changing, we have longer periods with dry weather. And only 7% of our farmers have irrigation. They don't have money to buy irrigation. So the little food production we have is very fragile because we don't have irrigation. So at our academy, we are making a model. So we are making our academy healthy food secure. So we grow our own food, vegetables, and we encourage local crops. This is gum. And this is just dig out of the forest. So I said, don't tell me we can't feed ourselves. Of course we can feed ourselves. Then we're saving our seeds. Nowadays, a lot of seeds are sold in St. Vincent. Doesn't make any sense. We can save and produce all our own seeds. But of course, there is a big interest behind making sure that the poor countries will buy other people's seeds that are, for example, genetically modified, so that you have to buy again, 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 and again, and again. So you become dependent instead of independent. So we're going against that, and we teach people to save their seeds and swap seeds. There's nothing new here. Compost. But guess what? In many of these countries where I live, compost is like a new thing. There's nothing new about compost. We even have some really good compost machines right at our schools. Look. So we clean up in the garden, right? Clean up, put it out here, all this clean from the garden. And this is a very good machine because it goes in here, around many times, and plop, plop, plop. It comes out, and we got really, you have to wait a little bit before you use it, but we got really good compost, right? Now, the most people do is that they import chemical fertilizers, they import chemical pesticides, which again is killing our soil. So we're teaching people how to get back to composting. Nice, cheap, simple. Anyone can do it. Pesticides, it's also very easy. This tree is called a neem tree. Take the leaves, put them in water, wait 7 days, put them in your spray, and you've got reasonable control of the bugs in your greenhouse. Add some flowers that attract the right bugs, and you're okay going organic. But I can tell you in St. Vincent, it's a whole big mystery if it is possible to grow organic food. People were trained so well that you need to use chemicals to grow food. One day, people are going to wake up all over the world and get your heads out of the sand and wondering, how could we ever think that growing food with poison is a good idea? Yeah, we need chemicals, otherwise bugs are going to eat all our vegetables and so on. No, we have to change, and we have to show that it's possible. It doesn't work if you talk and you're not showing that it's possible. We work with biochar. I don't know if this term, are you familiar with biochar? This is interesting. Also, we can do all over the world, very simple. Now, with oil, what we like carbon, so we take the oil out of the ground, change it and put it out in the atmosphere. But we can do it the other way. We can take carbon, change it, and put it in the soil. This is what we do with biochar. And biochar is extremely healthy for the soil. The charcoal, you make barbecue, no? But not just for barbecue. It is like a sponge. It holds a lot of moisture. So once you put that in your soil, you keep the nutrition in the soil, and your lettuce, nice. It's very good, very healthy, very smart. Then at the school, we grow all our own fruits. We have a fruit garden with 20 different Caribbean fruit trees. This is, of course, really nice. very easy to do in the Caribbean. It don't make sense to import apples from California, but guess what? You can still get apples from California in St. Vincent. But anyway, step by step. And we have our little honeybees here. And what's interesting to run an international school that we do, we have, of course, international national students. We have a few students from Finland, but otherwise we have from South America, North America, Caribbean, a few from Africa, from Asia. So it's a whole mix. Students are from 18 and up, like a folk school. You know, you live there, boarding facility. So it leaves a lot of space for the students to be very creative. So one day, well, you can see what this is, right? There's a lot of bees. One day, all students come into my office. Knock on the door. Stina. Time to start with honeybees. And I say, why? Yeah, there's all these bees parked in the tree on the entrance to the garden. We have to catch them. I said, oh yeah, that's a very good idea. So do you know how to do that? Yeah, they're read on the internet. Ho. Just because you read it on the internet that you can catch them doesn't mean that you can do it. No, but they also called someone on the cell phone. So they knew exactly how to catch these honeybees and start to produce honey. Okay. So I stayed away, but here you can allow your students to have a lot of creativity because we don't have a set curriculum that you would have at the university. So if you see honeybees out there, I'm not sure if you can spend 3 days out of your classroom and catch the honeybees and all that. But you can do that at Richmond Academy. So you see, they got up on a chair. They had read on the internet that you need some sugar water and some smoke and something. And then the queen and the bees will be very happy. And then you should knock on top of the branch until the queen falls down. And then, of course, all the men will follow. And then they did that into the box and everything. So that's how we started with honeybees. I have to say that not everything in our school is as organic as this. But this is a good story telling about what kind of school Richmond Academy is. Then we produce meat and eggs. Meat from pork, meat from chicken, and eggs. So we try all the time to become more sustainable, produce everything local. And here is our carbon neutral milk. You know, you were going through the pantry, right, and thinking, this was imported from there, and there was milk from Germany, and there was cheese from New Zealand. And, how can we get our own dairy? So we decided we are not going to have any milk from Germany. So we decided to find a farmer who could go in the morning and milk the cow and deliver it on a carbon neutral transport. So here is our milk delivery. And we are currently experimenting with various dairy products. We make some cream cheese, we make our own yogurt, we also make pesto and jam and various herbs and spices so that we can become sustainable and make our own food. I have passion. This is passion fruit one. We grow a lot of passion at the farm. We do this to raise money. So here's our bananas. We are still using some chemicals on the bananas, but we will figure out how we get out of that. We used to use chemicals in between the passion rows because in Caribbean it's 28 degrees all the way around and it grows like everything grows so fast. This is good, but it's difficult to keep the weeds down. So we used chemicals and thought we can't do this. We have to change. So we developed a new kind of tractor. A chicken tractor. So we're building this chicken tractor. It's like a box. You put the chicken in, right? And you will move that box up on the rows. So the chicken, as you can see here, that's where the chicken tractor's been. They eat everything. Then they fertilize. And there's no cleaning. Nice. Less feeding. You still have to feed, but it's less feeding. And we are going to keep our rows clean in this way. So that's how we go organic with our passion juice with our chicken tractor. This is our first, this is a little bit, we have a new model now, because in our school also it's a lot of experimenting, it's a lot of learning by doing. It is really our philosophy, learn by doing. So healthy food security is one thing, and then we have to be water security. We collect rainwater off the roofs of the building, and when it's raining, all the building is on rainwater. Toilets, showers, we clean with rainwater, everything. When it's not raining, we can still connect and get public water that we buy. But public water also has chemicals. So we are aiming to build a bigger water reservoir so that we can be like 2 months without rain. Because these periods are coming. We didn't have them before. Now we have them, because the climate is changing. And this is an excellent student project to set up a water collection system. On healthy food security, this is how we started with tree planting. We planted last year, before the Treelympics, 10,000 moringa trees. And we went out a lot in the radio, TV and newspapers to talk about this tree called moringa tree. Moringa trees have been in St. Vincent for many decades, but people had forgotten their purpose. And the moringa tree, 100 grams of the leaves have more vitamin C than oranges, more vitamin A than carrots, more calcium than milk, more potassium than banana, and more protein than yogurt. Because when you live in a poor country, you see a lot of people don't have nutrition. Our biggest health problem is diabetes. Caribbean is the second hardest hit area in the world with HIV/AIDS. So we have a lot of health problems. And to boost immunity system, this is excellent. And at the same time, as we plant trees, which have all these benefits that, that we need when we plant trees. This became a big hit in St. Vincent, and it was beyond our imagination that we could get everybody on planting trees. Because a lot of people told us, you can't get people to plant trees, and they're lazy, and they're not going to do it, and all that. But no, wrong. We did it anyway, and a lot of people, so we planted these 10,000 trees. Then for food security, we work with different gardens around the island. Like you have in Turkey, every school have a garden. But sometimes the garden is not active. But with our school, we go and create these gardens around the island. So that we work, this is with the Rastafari movement. And now you can guess what tree we are handing out in the garden? Moringa. Yeah, the moringa tree. So people line up to get there. Moringa tree. Now, so that's where we are with healthy food security and what we are focusing on. Then on carbon neutral energy, it's a big question. I just learned from Mika in the car, no, your friend in the car, Rami, that you have about more than 50% renewable energy in your area, right? This is very good, You should be really proud of that. It's a very big achievement. So Iceland is on 100% renewable energy. So we can also look at Iceland. Now in St. Vincent, 90% of all the energy we need is from burning fossil fuels, and we import oil from Venezuela and from other places. Then we burn it, pollute the atmosphere, and our electricity is very, very expensive. So we are very far away from being a carbon neutral nation. Our government is working on geothermal energy, like Iceland, working with an Icelandic company. And we are many people looking into solar solutions. At our academy, we have created a low-cost biogas model. So it's simple to make. And you take 1.5 kilo kitchen waste compost, like put it in the digester, and then you can have 5 hours of cooking gas. And this unit only costs $450 US. So we have this unit looking to find partners who can donate money so we can build many of these around the country and target the poor families. So that's one thing we do. And then we are looking for funding to solar power our school. All our hot water we heat now on solar power, but still we are looking for $40,000 US. We have some potential partners now, so our all school will be on solar. Hopefully by the end of next year we are all on solar power, so we can be off the grid, which is very crucial as the climate is changing. Because once we have disasters, I'll show you some of our disasters in a bit, all the power lines go, and you have days without electricity. Then, so we work, and then the last thing we work with is to be ready for climate change. And we're not ready. This is from a picture from the hurricane that struck us in 2010. I live in the Caribbean now, almost 8 years. We had 5 natural disasters in 8 years. The last one was the worst one. And it tells us where we're going. It's just gonna get worse. And when you live in a poor, small country, it looks so different than if you live in Germany or Finland. This is the hurricane. We are not ready for climate change. Look, that time we had a lot of bananas. Over 8 hours, all the bananas in the country came down. All of them. Hundreds of people lost the job like that, and they could never recover. To grow bananas takes 9 months. You know, and they had 9 months with no income. Of course, that industry just collapsed. So you see, we do a lot of monoculture. Monoculture have no future. If you grow banana, 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 a lot of wind, all gone. If you grow tomatoes, 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 a lot of rain, all gone. The future of farming is to grow food in forest gardens. Forests or trees, tomatoes. Root crop, tomatoes. Bushes, tomatoes. Trees. We have to change from monoculture to polyculture if we are going to be food secure. The last disaster struck us on Christmas Eve, 2013. People just put their Christmas dinner out. We had more rain in a few hours than we had in like 3 months. Here's the road where the school is, gone. We had severe damage to our infrastructure, roads, bridges, farming, houses, schools, everything, power plants. We have 3 hydroelectric power plants to destroy from this. So then we have to import more, this extremely big problem. This is our beaches. The bridges, roads, gone. And here we see another problem. One thing is the heavy rain, but the other thing is a lot of these trees were cut down. We have a big problem with deforestation. And then as the rain comes, they bring the trees and they clog the drains, they clog the rivers. So the damage is just very, very big. A lot of people lost their homes. We had 12 people died, 300 people in shelters. And a lot of people have houses that are very fragile. A lot of people don't have land, so they've built their houses along the riverbanks. And here's part of the water system. We have 110,000 people. On the 24th of December, 50,000 people, almost half of our people were without public water, because we're depending on decent or centralized systems. Again, we can see centralized systems have no future in a changing climate. Here are the water pipelines. So we're living in this. And then we think, of course, at the Academy, what can we do? We have to go out and help. But here you see again the importance of trees. This is just in our neighborhood. This house is smashed by a landslide. All the trees are cut down here. So as it's heavier rains, we have landslides we never seen before. So if we don't understand that we need to plant trees, we will have, it triggers. 5 people in this house, they just died, and there was no warning. So it's not like the people who cut down the trees, they had no possibility to know how big problem this rain was. We never had so strong rains. Now we know, but then how do we take action? We need to plant thousands of trees in cities. We went out from the Academy. We worked, put in like 600 volunteer hours. We helped restore the water pipelines. We helped to clean up houses. So we worked all Christmas, all New Year, out for like 3 weeks to see what we can do in our area. And where we live is also some of the most vulnerable areas. And we realized that this is a problem, but we also have another big problem, is that 85% of us and many Caribbean islands live 85% above sea level. For 85% less than 5 meters above sea level. Now the sea levels are rising. When you, I think sometimes when you live here, you don't realize how big a problem it is. When you live on an island, and I know the road was gone. One was gone not a few months ago, but another road was gone some years ago because the sea level rise. And if we look at the Caribbean, St. Vincent is a member of CARICOM. It's like the Caribbean European Union. Yeah, so these are the CARICOM member states. We have St. Vincent here. Now, if we take all the CARICOM states, and if we have 1 meter sea level rise, because it's predicted to rise to 3 meters, with only 1 meter sea level rise, you will see that we will have lost 1,300 kilometers to the sea. We lose hundreds of kilometers of road. With 2 meters of sea level rise, 3,000 kilometers of land will be lost. 260,000 people will be displaced. Tourist resorts will be damaged. Power plants will be damaged. Airports will be damaged. Roads will be damaged. And nesting places for sea turtles. So this is what we're looking at. And the small island states are some of the most vulnerable to climate change. What can we do from our academy? We've done a lot of work with cleanups to clean up rivers, streets, beaches, to keep the drains clear so the water can flow. And we did it with schools and so on, and get a lot of people involved. And we make trash marches and so on to get people on board. Yeah? And sometimes you have to be a little creative, you know. I'm sure you know, because you're a school teacher and you're heading this Treelympics, so you have to put in some fun. Because like this trash, because then a lot of people in the Caribbean are just sitting, you know. Nothing's happening, you're just sitting there. So we went up, this is me right there, and then we have a fridge here on the beach. So we went up and there was a lot of big men sitting, okay? And I said to them, oh, you don't need to get up. I can take it. Because you can get annoyed that people are not taking action, you know. So we go up and I try to lift it. Of course, I can't lift it at all, nothing, you know. But I said to them, but you don't need to get up. It's okay, I can take it. I've got my friend from China there. We want here from China. We can do it, you know. So, but before she lifted, we of course got all those guys up. So you'll have to be a little creative and put in a little bit of good mood and spirit to get this moving. So we've got a whole lot of people out picking up trash, also recycling. We only have 1 year in our country where we can recycle plastic cans and bottles. So it's a very new thing. Metal cans and bottles. It's a very new thing in St. Vincent. So many people don't know the difference between plastic trash, banana trash, metal trash, battery trash. They don't know. So sometimes you wonder, how can people live on an island with the most beautiful coral reefs in the world? How can you put plastic out in the sea that's destroying so much wildlife? How come? But the children, they don't know. Here is Sandra from Chile. She's trying to teach the children what's the difference between metal and plastic. Because the children don't know. They have never been able to go to the rich resorts and pay for a diving course. We'd like to change that. We've invested in a diving center and we're looking for funding so we can start a diving school. If we can have all the children in St. Vincent have one discover dive, they're not going to throw plastic anymore because they will discover what's under the sea. But if you never have seen what is under the sea, you don't know what to protect. And we work a lot on education. So we run clubs, we teach every parents, we teach in the radio, we teach in the TV, we teach in the newspapers. So we work a lot with media and to get the message out there because again, a lot of people don't know. And then you can't sit back and say, why are you throwing trash? No, you have to educate people, find out how you can get people involved. We produce a newspaper, so 3 times a year we produce a newspaper with good news. Lots of good news. We planted so many trees, we cleaned up so much trash, the winner's school in the trash pickup competition and so on. So we present all the good news. and get people on board, because a lot of our normal newspaper is full of bad news. And if you fill your ears and eyes and heart and soul with bad news, you're not going to get people to plant trees. So we have to produce good news. Yes. What can I do? What can you do? And now we can see, because we have 2 years, a little bit more in this program, we can see that the politicians are waking up now. Here's the Minister of Agriculture. This is in August. August 2013, I went to talk to him that we should plant trees. He was like, yeah, it's a good idea. Now 1 year after, right now, it's not part of the competition, but we are planting 10,000 trees right now with the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister, and a trust. So sometimes it takes a long time to get things moving, but then it starts to move. And that is what you need to learn, is to never give up. And that's one thing we teach in our school, to never give up. So people come through our program and a lot of them become very creative and they never give up on their ideas to eliminate children from the street, children at war, child soldiers. You want to plant trees, you want to do good for humanity and for the planet. So we are basically in our school training activists who believe it's possible to change the world. I think it is. Maybe I am naive, but I like being naive there. So here we're planting. And you know, we talked about the Olympic Games in tree planting all over the place. So we've spread this all over. So we are very, very happy when we were invited by the Ministry of Environment, because you've sent a letter from here to the Ministry of Environment. And because we planted the other trees last year, the Ministry of Environment thought, why don't we call Richmond Valley Academy? So they contacted us and we decided to get on board with the Treelympics. So we registered all the schools, hurried up before the deadline, you know. And then I remember we were all looking at the map. You've been looking at the map also? The Treelympics map? No? You looked at the map? No, okay. But now you will, because you'll be very curious about this, right? So we all looked at the map, looking, oh, there were some schools in Turkey, in Philippines, in Romania, and we were looking at the map, yeah? And then we were registered, we would hurry up to register everybody before 31st of May, before you change the deadline. Yeah? And then, right, I think on the 30th of May or 31st of May, Turkey came in with like 400 schools, you know? So we were all looking at it, Turkey, wow, Turkey, go, go. So we had a lot of fun with that. But then we registered, and then we could register more schools because then we had more deadline. But then we just planted with all the schools. And all our children in all these schools are so happy about this. So I'm really happy that you made this initiative, and I had no idea that Joensuu was so ahead on creating change for the world. This inspires thousands of people. I mean, not a few people, thousands of people, because we are involved in this. We are telling so many people about this, and we are going to get many more people involved. Yeah. And I think planting trees is such a concrete action to combat global warming. It's so concrete. Everyone can do it. Everybody should get involved. And I think it's possible to reverse the damage of global warming. And I'd like to end with a few words that I heard Nelson Mandela said in 1990 when I was working in Mozambique. He had just been released from prison, and we were rallying the streets of Maputo. We were 150,000 people greeting Mandela, who just came out of prison, and he was speaking there. Oh, a lot of people. And he said, it always seems impossible until it's done. And I think it's possible. So, thank you very much. Thank you.